This is the end of the 21 Convention 2010 of Stockholm, Sweden. It's our 4th event, 4th year. We'll have a 5th event soon, about a month and a half. And this is the Q&A panel. It's a tradition, like the approach-a-thon we did, that workshop first night. And we basically pull all the remaining speakers up at the event for a 20-minute-ish Q&A panel. You just ask all the questions you guys want. And with this very unique opportunity of all these guys, this think tank, you can ask anything you want on any damn topic you can imagine, including other topics from other speakers, even if they're not here. We're not them, but we'll do our best to answer them. So this is it. This is getting your money's worth of coming to this event. And start asking questions, man. We're here for you guys. And max 2 minutes to answer from these guys. So it'll be good, concise, and powerful. Of course. He's... Are you kidding me? This guy? Are you kidding me? Of course. He's probably got like 100 written down. Go for it. Oh, if you could too, like if it's directed at someone, let us know. Otherwise, it'll be random who answers it.
Should I start with a light question or a difficult one?
Yeah, go for it.
It's a good thing. Like the guy asks questions, you should ask questions.
This
Okay,
is the question,
right.
Man.
Well, then I have a question to, well, everyone who considers themselves
Awesome,
in the game
awesome.
specialist. This in the game question. Sometimes I take life too seriously without noticing, and I have the feeling it's I don't know, slowing me down or well, fucking with me basically. So how to go become more lighter without having objections, saying like, hey, because I'm having objections doing it because when I become lighter, I don't analyze everything and I make the more wrong decisions. So yeah, that's the basic problem. So how to become more lighter in that context?
Okay.
I think you should answer that.
Yeah, you were
Alright,
nodding, so
2 minutes.
figured.
All right. Well, it's kind of a two-part answer. The first is to just play, right? I talked about playing. Do things that talk to your inner child, right? Finger painting. Like there was this bar in Austin, Texas that on Sunday afternoons used to have finger painting. And you would sit down with a beer and you would drink your beer and then you would get finger paint all of your fingers and you'd smear it all over a piece of paper and then they would hang it up on the wall of the bar until the next week. Like that kind of stuff is great for you because you can just get rid of your inner critic. No one paints a masterpiece finger painting. So you can just set that aside and surrender yourself to pure play. But what I'm also hearing from you is the other problem that you have is when you do stuff like that, because I think you probably have some options that you've figured out, things that you can do to try to lighten up. But then you're criticizing yourself. You're saying, oh, I'm doing something that might be embarrassing to me, or I'm making choices that may not be the best choices for me. I understand that. You're feeling like you have to be inconsistent. I mean, you have to be consistent all the time. That, like you have to, in order to be you, like you have to be consistent with who you think you are. I would encourage you to give yourself permission to be inconsistent sometimes. Because that allows you for growth. It allows you to expand out at the edges. Like, you're allowed to be inconsistent. You're allowed to do things you would never do. And in fact, if you trust in your principles, if you trust yourself, you never have to worry about the choices that you make because you know that they will come from who you are.
Does that answer your question? Damn hope it does. Next question.
Yeah. It's
I bet he does.
Hey guys, it's a similar question. I'm thinking about, we have been here for 3 long days and
Very long days.
yeah, very
Sorry.
long days.
Shit
And we have
happens.
a really big glow about us. We really want to change. How can we keep this glow inside us, this fire, for a longer
Momentum.
time? Yeah, momentum
Yeah, keep
for
it going.
change and
Is
keeping
it directed at anyone or just?
strong.
whoever
No,
wants to
just
take it?
to these guys who think they have a good answer for it.
Ratis.
For momentum, first of all, is you should probably sit down tonight or at some point afterwards and write down what you're going to do and stick to it. That's the first thing. Say, you know, where you want to be in like 3 months, 6 months, whatever. What skill level you would like to have and shoot for that. Also, choose 3 days a week and make sure you go out. If you're trying to learn how to pick up chicks in like a nightclub, don't be a pussy about it. Go out, and these 3 nights, no matter how you feel on a particular night, do it anyways. At one point, for me personally, my motivating drive was, to find love. But for me, what got me going as a pickup artist, for the most part, where I wanted to really develop my skill, is I decided to do a 30-day challenge, which turned into me going out 57 days straight in a row. So what you're going to want to do is, if you want to continue the momentum, you need to actually make a commitment to yourself to do that.
Get clear, you mean? Shorten it up.
What's up?
Get really clear and concrete.
Exactly. Exactly. Anyone else? Or does that answer your question?
Yeah.
I could add in some other stuff. Like one thing I always notice with people, it relates to the first guy's question and your question, is a problem is with our society. We are aiming towards this kind of hedonism where we never want to experience pain. We are always shying away from pain, and we always want to ignore pain and always pursue the happiness. I don't believe in that. I believe like romance is dead. I want to like give rebirth to romance, where the most important thing in your life is not happiness, it's actually emotions, because emotions swing both ways. We talk about all the time, you need to give women emotional roller coasters. Fuck that, you need to give yourselves emotional roller coasters. That's like people are afraid of getting hurt. You talked about how you're gonna get hurt, and when you said that to me, I was like, yeah. I mean, when I got my heart broken, it was actually one of the most beautiful moments in my life, because I was experiencing so much love, and it became so real. And I think every emotion is really important. You need to embrace all of the emotions and stop always stop putting so much pressure on always feeling good, always feeling really great, always never having any pain, always running away from pain, and instead accept that life is an emotional roller coaster, and the worst thing you could experience is indifference. And when you start accept this, you're gonna realize that changing your life is actually not that hard. It's just it's just a matter of situations. It's just a matter of experiences.
Next question. Unless you wanted more elaboration, but I'm sure Melvin's got a bunch up here. Okay.
I have one. Hi. This is a kind of open question to anyone. It's I'm thinking you all started out with what you have been doing for a long time for some of you, and shorter time for others, for all different reasons. And I wonder if you now, when you are where you are right now, do you think you have achieved what you wanted when you started? Can you say something about that? Kind of. Yeah. You had a reason when you started. How do you look upon that now, where you are right now?
You have an answer to this.
I think as you go along, what you want sort of changes, and you reach this certain level where you get some success. And like I said in my speech, some of the things that motivated you in the beginning, you realize that maybe it's not always what you really wanted. It's what you thought you needed to make you happy. But the more you progress on your journey, the more you realize actually goals, they're more as a motivational, point for you in the future than actually something that you have to always achieve. Not everything will come to pass, but the whole point is, as you progress throughout your journey, you get that more sense of fulfillment, and the journey actually at some point just becomes the goal itself. It's a little Zen-ish, I guess, but that's definitely been how it is for me, and hopefully you guys will achieve that too soon.
Dude, when I found this community, the first thing in my mind and what I thought I really wanted was just to bang a bunch of chicks, preferably really hot ones. And I've hooked up with a lot of girls, but ultimately what I've really ended up wanting to do and doing, as you can see literally right now, is host conventions. I love doing this, and I think I've become a happier person, and this is how I express it. So, dude, when I found this, it was about banging chicks, and now it's about something, like, completely different. So it's totally changed, and I totally relate to what Dayon says. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome, yeah. Oh, dude, I'm fucking retarded. Thanks. Yeah.
I once heard that someone said if what was it again? Learning seducing women or whatever is related only by ebooks is not possible. An experienced guy said that. So I actually want to ask the question to all of you, and the question is: did any one of you, just so by raise of hands or something, did any one of you become good with women by reading text and videos, watching videos or audios only?
Not everybody.
Okay, and then to elaborate on a question, like, how do you say?
It's my vibrator.
So to just make it clear, every one of you progressed by having a mentor.
Yes.
Well, raise of hands. Who didn't progress by having a mentor?
Did or didn't?
Oh, didn't.
Oh, hell no. Are you kidding me?
Actually, can I answer that?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
Here's the thing. Like here's the very important thing, right? As I said in my speech, everybody I know who's good with women hang with people who are good with women.
Yeah, but that's what I mean with the mentor.
But that's it depends on how you define mentor, really. I think that for me, one thing that I realized was when I started out in the community had just, like, the whole phenomenon of game had just found Sweden, and I found myself the only guy in Gothenburg that ever dared approaching women. Like, the first week, I was the best pickup artist in Gothenburg because I was the only pickup artist in Gothenburg. And so I didn't have anyone to turn to. But here's the thing. So I didn't have a mentor. But here's the thing. I started realizing that even if in an overall perspective I might be better than most people around me, I can still learn from others. That's what I really like. When my game started to skyrocket was when I realized that I could still learn from others. That just because maybe if in an overall perspective I'm better than most people I know, I can still learn from stuff that they are better. For example, like you could say, take whatever concept you want to take, like comfort. Someone else is maybe better than me in comfort. I can learn from him. So I think that it's impossible to not. I think it's impossible for anyone to say that they didn't progress without the help of others. But to say that just because of a mentor or have a like really strict mentor thing, that's what divides us. Yes.
I think the more you actually start just relying on yourself, the more you develop that ability within you. And this ties into the whole living in mystery and being the independent thinker, because you just realize that in the end, you don't need a mentor. You'll take care of this yourself. Right.
I don't mean like a Mr. Miyagi or something like that's every day, but I mean like someone once in a month you shoot a few questions because they're like blind spots or something like that. That's what I mean more.
Yeah, and I understand that, but the thing is, whatever kind of mentor you have, they can inform you, they can impart knowledge to you, they can inspire you, but still, that's all information. And I would say learning is information plus action. It doesn't matter how much information you take in, unless you are acting on it, you're not learning it. And the only person who can act is you. So ultimately, you are your teacher. You may take information in from all kinds of other sources, but you have to act on it or it's useless.
The greatest seduction teachers in the world are women. Yeah. So all the ideas you got this weekend, everything you heard us say, I mean, it's just up to you. It's a decision you make. It's a choice you make to adopt the courage to take this information in field and determine for yourself what's important, what's applicable, and what resonates with you through the world of women.
I think those are all brilliant answers, and it's important to realize that as men, if we really want to become holistic, we need to find balance within. And it's very easy for us men to fall into extremes. So we can fall into the extreme of being the seeker, to the extreme where we think that it's the world, it's something outside that is going to fix us. But we can totally fall into the other extreme and be the stubborn kind of men. Every average guy, their number one biggest problem is being afraid to talk about those things and ask for help. Now, we can become the worshiper, and we put a person that's not us on a pedestal. And I mean, in any good spiritual teaching, it's always been said that don't do that. But we can also become a little punk that doesn't realize that, wait a minute, this guy's been at it for all those years. There's got to be some value there, right? So it's about finding that balance between internal and external. And then I've always thought it's almost like a diamond where the things that we need information. Without information, I mean, imagine that the best advice we had ever gotten was the one we got from our parents. Do you think any of us would be here today? Do you think any of you guys would start to make progress? So one person starting to bring information, one of my mentors at the time. And then from that information, we need motivation. Because you can hear all the information that you want. If you're not motivated to act on it, it's not going to go far. From motivation, we need application. And from application, we need repetition. Now, we could debate for hours, like in terms of which one do you enter? Is there one that's better? I think it's like driving a car. If you don't have all four, you won't go far. And you can enter it anywhere. Sometimes you hear somebody and they motivate you, and you go home and you put what you heard this weekend into practice. Sometimes you've heard all that stuff, but it's within you, a little voice. We all have that voice of guidance within, and you hear it and you go, yeah, I found it. Sometimes you read it in a book. The book says, you got to put that into application. And you go, that's right. But if one book can tell you that, what is the next book able to tell you? So I believe in education, in continuation. And you can ask my wife, Amy, we've been at this for 20 years. During the course of 1 week, we go through at least 3 books. We go through DVDs, videos, ours, we create. We go into the world, we seek more. We attended a conference, the I Can Do It conference, with women only. I was one of the only guys in the room. And because I wanted to have that experience. So it's an ongoing process, and visit all those 4 and watch going extreme. If you've been extreme in one of them, you know, if you've been the guy like reading, go out. If you've been going out, start to read. That's the next level. So that would be my take on it. And I hope it's okay. So. Yeah?
Pass the hookah.
First, what was the all-women convention again?
You
I
want
to find out this.
I don't know if I'll advertise it now, but you gotta go. I'll tell you
We'll
about
talk.
it.
Okay, because I
We'll talk.
want to attend
We'll
that.
talk.
Yeah.
You're in a minute.
2,000 women.
Definitely want to attend
5
that.
guys. I was one of them.
Perfect ratio. Okay, the mentor thing. I was actually in a unique spot because in my game, I had 2 years no mentor, 2 years with a mentor, right?
Adam, right?
Yes, AFC Adam, great guy.
Yeah.
And here's what I found, right? The question was, can you get good without a mentor? I believe that was your original one. It's been a while since I heard it, but yes, you absolutely can. In those first 2 years, I was getting really good. I was progressing faster than most of the guys in my lair and a bunch of the people I knew alongside me, right? But however, I didn't have, it wasn't that I didn't have a mentor. I had a billion mentors. The whole community was my mentor. You know, just like you're here right now, you're getting mentored by everyone here, listening to these talks. Every time you listen to a product, you're getting mentored. You're getting mentored by the other guys in your lair, the guys you go out with. But then again, it's like the blind kind of leading the blind, right? So I was getting mentored. It is, I mean, but so I was getting mentored, but it was very diluted information and conflicting, and it was just very confusing to me. So you can get good doing that. But then I got a mentor the last 2 years, and then my game really progressed real quick because all my information came from one place, and it was concise. It was tailoring it into me, right? So can you get good without a mentor? Absolutely. However, when you have one who's find it, because here's another thing. You can't see yourself game. You can't watch yourself. You can't know, oh, yeah, that's what he's doing wrong. I can fix it, right? But when you have a mentor, he can do that for you. So the difference between having a mentor and not having one is with a mentor, your game's going to get really good really fast. I progressed more in that 1 year of having a mentor than I did all 2 years without one. Could I have done it without ever having a mentor? Absolutely. It would have just taken a lot longer. And also, I loved what Jason said here. The ultimate mentors are women. That's what I'm using right now. As my personal mentors, I kind of shut everything else out, from guys. The only thing I'm trying to take in at this point is, every now and then, I'll hear something like, oh, that's pretty cool. But for the most part, my mentoring now, I guess, is either obviously myself or the women I surround myself with. I listen to their stories. I listen when women here talk about how they never get approached and, what that would do if they did get approached and how the typical reaction would be. I interview them. And because it is useful and it helps you, You'd be surprised. It's one thing to hear a guy's LR. It's a much cooler thing to hear a woman's. You learn a lot that way.
The only thing, we need to get Orlando.
Oh, unless you want to add to that.
The one thing I want to add real quick, this has been a very ongoing question. My mentors have constantly changed over the years to varying extremes, from guys like Marcus Aurelius, Anthony Robbins, Genghis Khan, guys like Jason Savage, Adam Lyons, Steve El Topo from the convention in the United States. They're just huge. And you know what? Even more than that, man. It's not just guys like that. I always keep myself open to learn from anyone, especially guys just like coming to the convention. The camera guy, Matt McCarr. I've seen him be super dedicated to this event and really take on an independent role. Because last year, he didn't do it on his own. He was an assistant to a senior. And he did it on his own this year here. He did an amazing job. And guys like William, who is helping Matt this year as like a grip or like an assistant. This guy, he came to this event, and he did an awesome, awesome job helping Matt. He was super professional about it, and I didn't know that about him. And that was such an expression about his dedication to this event and what we're doing that I see that, and I learned from that. And that's just something random. And next week, who knows what it could be? It could be a girl at a club, or it could be someone on the street. Who knows?
Yeah.
So you can learn from anyone. My mentors are constantly changing throughout my life. They're never too many either. Like Jared said, you don't want to get diluted. And I'm always open to learning from anything or anyone. But let's take the next question. We've been on this for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Got it, though.
Push it in.
Yeah. I know how well you said you guys have done a lot of traveling. I was just wondering, do you find it easier like your home location, or do you find it easier when you're like traveling to different
Stockholm.
places? Yeah.
Stockholm. Stockholm.
Definitely.
Well, here's the thing. You live here, so you're going to get the opportunity to be submerged in the culture that you're in. So you're going to learn the ins and outs. Like, I've had the pleasure of being able to live in Mexico for a little bit and in Costa Rica, and it taught me so much about the way that those cultures were, and the fact that I was submerged in it, I was able to backwards, engineer how to game those places. Now, for me personally, I can game the best in like the United States for me. Now, you guys are going to understand the women a lot better. You're going to understand how a lot of this culture works, and you're going to be able to find your own methods of how you're going to go about and do it.
Here's the thing. I've always said that when you're home, your game shouldn't be mainly cold approach. I mean, cold approach shouldn't even be, a huge part of your game. If you're learning game, of course, it's a very, very good way of learning. But once you're done, once you feel like, okay, I've come to a certain level, you're like most of the women you meet should not come from cold approach. You should have a lifestyle that, that constantly brings you the kind of women you want. I mean, why should you every time start from scratch? I mean, if you're traveling, you don't have any other choice. But if you're home, if you're in that one location and you're established, you should develop some kind of lifestyle that, automatically brings you the kind of women that you want, and without any, huge effort. Otherwise, you just it's stupid because you have the opportunity. No, because you have the opportunity. You're in one place. You should develop that kind of thing. So, in that respect, the answer should be it's always easier home, or at least you should make it easier home.
Just to kind of reinterpret your question, like the external advantage to you traveling in relation to women is going to be, you're in a new place, you have this new vibe, like this sense of anonymity. You have like a traveler's aura, and like women are drawn to that for sure. It's like a new flavor of ice cream, something exotic, new jeans. So, and the internal advantage is like traveling is like the best thing you can do with your time. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you self-reliance, resourcefulness, tenacity, persistence. It really helps you get to know yourself. For me, a lot of these inner game kind of issues were ironed out by traveling long-term on the cheap. So I'm encouraging you to travel.
Yeah, really, like, this follows on from what Jason said. Of course, we're traveling together, so we have similar mindsets on this. I want to turn your question on its head and make it about learning, because I think traveling is especially good for you when you are learning, because you get away from your habits, you get away from your friends, you get away from those places where you're going to feel embarrassed or feel like you might fuck up your real world life, right? You get yourself somewhere where you're willing to take risks. You're not worried about embarrassing yourself. And also, you're put in what I would call a learning moment, right? If you're in a culture where they speak a different language or something like that, then you're being forced to adjust, to cope with that. And so your brain is in this mode where it's already ready to learn things, to form new strategies, to form new habits. And that can be really good for you when you're in the learning mode.
Anything you can't walk away from owns you. Let it go.
Pictures. Oh, okay, I'm retarded. Sorry. I thought that was like her cameras. It came out of nowhere. It's like magical camera. All right, cool. We got time for any more answers on that? You take the next one? It's all right. Whatever you're comfortable with. We got time for one more question that's going to go on for like another hour.
All right,
But, one more question, yeah.
So I just have a follow-up question on this traveling thing, because I can relate to a lot of things with traveling, and
You were in Japan recently, right?
Yeah, I was in Japan
Awesome.
recently, and
Wanna go?
And I got like, you get to a new environment, and you talked about all the things that you learn, and you get a new place to be. But what I found was the problem was that when I got back into an old environment and old habits too. And it kind of was just so annoying that it didn't stick, because it was like a shift in mentality, and I got a lot of things out of the travel, but I couldn't express it when I got home because I got stuck in old habits, and just everything kind of shifted back to normal in a way. But then I also have a lot of things that I've learned as well. So just how do you get the habits, new habits to stick?
Real fast, because I know, Orlando, you probably have some good takes on that. But listen to the concept of when I got back, or it came back, it didn't stick. One thing is lacking: self-responsibility in it. And if you want this weekend to stay with you, it's very simple. Re-enter your life. You don't have to re-enter from the same old door. And what will happen is a direct reflection of what we do. So I used to be in that place also, almost like something magical had happened to me. I had glow, I was traveling, but suddenly the old me would come back or something. And that's not accurate if you really think about it. So do your best to re-enter it in a new way. And simple shifts lead to greater shifts. So make sure that when you re-enter your own place, re-enter it in a different way. Sleep on the other side of the bed. Move your bed. Park your car differently. There's so many options. It's amazing. Sell your bed, whatever. But I mean, make sure and know that if you go home and it feels that it came back to the old way, take responsibility and say, it came back because I did what I used to do. Now I have the opportunity to do it differently. I choose to do it differently today. You won't change everything in one day, but change the little things. There's so many ways. The famous family therapist Virginia Satir found that there was, I think, 26 different ways to do the dishes. Milton Erickson had found that there was something like close to 30 different ways to say no or yes. Yes, yes. So many different ways. So there's different ways to sleep, to park your car, to do everything. Start today. That's how you take responsibility in it. You want to add to this one? The next question. Okay. So
Actually, you said it very nice. I was gonna say, with all respect, you're kind of whining because, as he said, you're taking away the self-responsibility. It's up to you. You need to make that change. You can't, be passive and say it came back. You gotta take charge. You gotta control the situation. You gotta be conscious about what you are doing, and not, be passive and let the world has its course on you.
All right, Speaking of which, I know you, and I know you can do that, like they're saying. So take that responsibility, and I know you can, man. I've known you for a while, even though we just met. So, all right, we'll take one more question, but it's got to be for Orlando. It's messed up. He didn't get to answer anything. Fuck, man. So if you got something for Orlando, let it rip. Maybe not the right choice of words. Melvin.
I got one, maybe. I'm not sure.
Over there. And this is it. Last one we could take. We'll take questions off stage, but that's part of the experience. But yeah, go.
This one's more for Alexander.
Fuck.
About like the lifestyle thing. like you said in your hometown, like women, like you should have an abundance of women. But like, let's say if you don't want to like do a night game, like where and how should you go about getting more women in your life?
Yeah, I mean, the great part about nightclubs is it's a whole industry, which, the whole, like, the heart of the industry is trying to collect hot women into one place. That's pretty much the currency. So nightclubs are, therefore, a really good source for beautiful women. So it's really hard to find something to replace it with if you want to have, that many beautiful women in one place. But they do exist. You have universities. You have different kind of like working places. I mean, there are always beautiful women in clothing stores. There are always, I mean, I would guess that there are beautiful women everywhere. Like, that's up to you. What kind of women do you want? You see, people who are alike usually, they gather around each other, right? I mean, people who like rock music, they usually go to the same concerts. You tend to see the same people on the same spots, right? So you just ask yourself, what kind of women do you want, and where do they go? Like, where do they hang? Most people do not spend most of the time in their own house. And if you want to build a lifestyle, you should, like, say for example, universities. I mean, even if you're not a student, you could definitely do something. You could arrange parties for universities, or you could do a library project, something that interests you. Because if you're interested in women who are smart and who are studying something in universities, that means you have some similar interests, right? So when I say you should be doing something, I don't mean you should do it just because of the women. I say it because most likely you have something in common, and you should act on that. So I spoke to someone, he's from Holland. He said, another speaker, we were talking about this lifestyle thing, and he said, I don't remember, man, but you said something about some other speaker saying something about be the king of your own jungle. And that's basically like, be the king of your own jungle. Try to find out, and it's a really good expression. I don't know who said it. I'm sorry, I can't give out credit. But in this university or whatever, where you find these women that you are attracted to, figure it out somehow. It's really individual. It's hard for me to say as a general answer. I hope it helps you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's get Orlando to go.
Actually, now I finally got a cue in for this, because this is really one of my pet peeves. Like, one of my real pet peeves is people living virtual lifestyles. All the PUA guys, all the forum guys, all the people playing World of Warcraft and other crap are wasting away. You're wasting away your life. Get a fucking life together. And I have to totally disagree with that. Nightclubs are a good place to meet women. I mean, yes, like you were saying earlier, it's geared as a hostile environment. Get away from the fucking computer. Get away from the fucking social media. Get away from the stupid internet wanking and get out there and actually make some friends. We have one program that we've done for a while and it's really still going on even 2 years after I left those places, 3 years, called Seduction for the Rest of Us. It's kind of like a mastermind group. And what we do is like strictly 3 guys, 3 girls. It's like a hexagram, if you will, like the Star of David, with like 3 men, 3 women. And get like a master. If you don't know what a mastermind group is, look it up on the internet, read Napoleon Hill, whatever it is. It has to be administered. Make 3 women friends. You don't fuck those girls. Those are strictly off limits. Those are like friend girls, okay? Those are like your sisters. Those are women in your life. And those, I don't know, I didn't even want to call these stupid PUA terms like PUA speak, like pivots or whatever, like wing girls. That's all a bunch of shit that's been laid on you guys. Get a life and get away from the goddamn fucking computers, please. Pardon my French here. I mean the word computer. And
Let's watch the 21 Convention video, of course. That's totally fine.
Seriously, get away from all that mental masturbation or literal masturbation of just thinking that your life, it's virtual life. I have guys come to my workshop that are like almost millionaires. They're 35 years old and they've had sex 3 times, if that many times, with hookers. And it's because they've been playing World of Warcraft for 20 years. Get out there, make friends in the real world, and get a social circle. Whatever happened to parties? Like, I've met more girls at parties than at all other venues combined. And I don't mean club parties. I mean real flesh and blood parties where you're saying, okay, let's get a keg of beer, let's get a couple of drinks, make some daiquiris, and get like 10 friends over and have each one of them bring like one other friend, one girl, whatever it is, and develop social circles, develop a real life, and get away from this mental masturbation of living a virtual lifestyle. It's like Second Life and all this stupid stuff. This is probably one of the biggest messages I can give you guys to get away from the goddamn box. All right? Please do that. And that's all I got to say about that.
Very well said. I actually agree with every single thing you said there. He actually touched on something. I want to point this out to you guys. Now, I love the nightclubs, right? That's where I did the vast majority of my game because, as this guy said, you know, that's where all the hot women are. So I want to go to where all the hot women are, right? But you have to realize that a nightclub is designed for you guys to fail. It's designed that way, unless you spend a lot of money. And because you have to understand, it's a business, right? The guys who are getting the bottles or the VIP area, they'll get some girls because it's a status. The whole nightclub scene is based on status, right? If you don't get, first off, you don't get in unless you got the girls, right? So if you do get in, you got to pay. Oh, you want the hot ones? Okay, well then you got to pay because they're in the VIP area. They're not with you guys, because the bouncer going to go up to them and go, "You guys want to go in the VIP area?" Of course, it's more exclusive. Actually, here's a funny thing: VIP sucks. I'm going to say it right now. The VIP, everyone watch, VIP area sucks. The only thing cool about it is it has the hot girls. But it's exclusive. Honestly, this would be the club. Everyone's having fun, drinking, dancing. The VIP would be us just sitting, going, okay, yeah. Literally, no, I don't like it. I only like it when there's the hot girls around. But honestly, it's like, I feel like I'm in the timeout zone. Because we're like sitting here, we feel cool. I got a bottle and everything. Yeah, I'm the man, but kind of want to go out and party where the party is, you know? So they're kind of excluding you. I mean... Anyway, so the whole thing is designed to make you feel, right? Oh, you want to buy a girl a drink, right? Nah, they don't let you do that. Want to why? It's ladies' night. So the ladies get a drink for free. So they can't even throw money at them like that. You have to buy a $300 bottle for them to bring the sparklers out to get you the attention so that women start noticing you there, right? Oh, also, you want to talk to them? Nah, it's too loud. We're going to make it really loud so you guys can't chat each other up. You have to pay for it. So the whole thing's that now there's systems in how to cheat the system. There's great ways in how you can actually beat the nightclubs, and I've kind of cracked that code on how I can use all these things to my advantage, and that's something I teach. Right, all right. But anyway, real quick, we're gonna cut. I'm gonna end it because I know you want to cut it right now. There is a there is a place though that has gorgeous. I don't know here, maybe there is a place though, at least by me, that you can find lots of gorgeous women. Best thing about this place, you don't have to pay either. No cover charge. No douchey. No. I like where his head's at. There's no bouncers. There's no douchey guys telling you what you can do and cannot do. Right? The best part is this place, they're already half naked. More naked than a nightclub. It's called the beach. Right? Florida. Yeah. It's got. Now I don't know if you guys have that here, but it's really easy. The girls are lying there in their bikinis. You can code approach all of them you want. They're there because, as this guy pointed out, the cool thing about a nightclub is it draws all the hot girls there. Well, something about sand and salt water draws a lot of hot girls. I don't know, but it does. Actually, one of my instructors, he's a Russian guy, a little crazy, but that's all he does. Like, that's his heart and soul, and he gets some of the hottest girls I've ever seen. And as he puts it, he's like, "I like beach game, bitch." Like that. He's like, why would they do these nightclubs? I want beach game. I'm like, I can't even argue on that. It works. So that's one alternative.
Does anyone else want to tag on to this? Cool. Take time.
Yeah. All right. Very quickly, nightclubs have their uses. Nightclubs are good collectors and terrible filters. They get a lot of hot girls in one place, but unless your lifestyle is that you're a nightclub promoter who spends all his time at nightclubs, it is a total crapshoot whether any one girl in that club will actually fit with your lifestyle. She could be a box welder. She could be a lacrosse player. She could be obsessed with bees. Like, you have no idea what that girl is. All you know is she dressed up hot and came to the club. The best filter, like the best way to be selective, the best way to get women who actually fit with your life into your life is, like Orlando was saying, have a life. Do things that you already like to do that women also like to do. And if you don't have any of those in your life, then cultivate some. If you're only doing things that only boys like to do, find some things you like to do that women also like to do. That will get women that actually fit with your lifestyle. You have less options than you do at the nightclub, but the options that you get will be totally compatible with your life. They will be totally pre-selected for you, exactly what you want.
Can I just add in some stuff? Yeah, nightclubs are harsh environments. When me and Anthony were in Gothenburg promoting this convention, I was talking about nightclub game. A lot of things about nightclub game. And one thing I kept pressing is, if you do not enjoy yourselves in nightclubs, you shouldn't be trying to do it. There are beautiful women everywhere. And I mean, even all the hot women in nightclubs, they don't live there. They gotta go shop. They gotta buy all those clothes they're wearing. So, I mean, if you don't enjoy yourself in nightclubs. I grew up in those kind of environments. I've always loved parties. I always loved loud music, stuff like that, dancing, shit like that. I am really comfortable. Everything they said about nightclubs, all the harsh things, that don't apply to me. I'm like, nope, that don't apply to me. And the reason being is because I like it. And that's what you guys should think about for yourselves, is if you don't like it, don't do it. It's not worth it. I just want to address that. And yeah, do what you love. And to finally answer your question, I came up with a really good answer. The best way to meet women is through women. Actually, it's a very simple, just genius way. The best way to meet women is through women. Get female friends.
Hell yeah. Eventually it'll end.
No, I have a long monologue I have to give on it now.
I have a dream.
Like, you can tell everybody here has like really conflicting views on everything. But generally, if you feel like you have a lack of women, it doesn't really come down to like the place you're at, or if you go to a club, or if you're women are everywhere, man. They're on the street. They're in this room, right? But if you feel like there's a lack and you can't approach women, then it's more something like inside you. It's not the club or, the mall. So look at it from like that perspective. Is it something that you can fix, or do you have to really go find the hottest club or whatever? So internal. Cheers.
Okay. Because there seem to be more questions and there's so many answers, I just thought I would quickly share that idea of a great way to start. Anthony began this convention by saying you got to do your own thinking. So this is a way to do your own thinking. It's called the 4-point question. Meaning, for example, we take clubs. So ask yourself, could somebody go to a club and do well? Could they? Yeah, and like themselves. Could somebody not go to a club and do well? Yeah. Could somebody go to a club and not do well? And not like it? Yeah. And it's been a long time. By now, you guess what the fourth one would be. But any question you may have, this helps you to go to the core issue, something deeper. So,
cool. All right, that happens every year. We just go on like for a million hours, but it's cool because it's awesome content. But you know what? We're still here. So after the video ends, we can still answer questions. But we can't do this for like the next 10 hours, even though it'd be cool. We just can't do that. So now I got to end this event, and I admit I got actually a few butterflies in my stomach. A little bit sweating, but not too bad. Sorry, a little bit hot. All of this was saying that on the first day of this event, I was kind of down on myself. I was beating myself up mentally, internally. I don't know if you guys noticed it or not. Maybe not. I was really tired too. But I was beating myself up on the attendance. You know, we didn't pull like a bajillion guys like in the United States. And I had tied my self-esteem to that. And I realized, though, at the end of the day, that's total nonsense. If we had 5 people here or 500, it doesn't matter. It took me a whole day to realize that. But once I realized that, and I thought about what mattered, I realized that, you know what matters? Helping people, helping individuals, getting this footage online, and helping people forever, permanently. And pulling something off in Europe, taking over the world. And quite possibly, not only helping individuals change their own lives, but changing the course of a generation. Because I really believe, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again and again and again until it happens, that that's what this event's here to do. Like, not only us in this room and people watching, but like your peers too. Everyone's seeing this and hearing me right now. That's what this event's about. It's changing the course of a generation. I think we're getting there, year by year, piece by piece, step by step, speech by speech, minute by minute, question by question for a bajillion hours. To wrap this event up once and for all, kind of shaking. I'd like to thank all the speakers. You guys all did an amazing job, including the guys that aren't here right now that just couldn't make it, had to fly out. Charismatic Revolution from Sweden did an amazing job helping me pull this off because it was really, really close, but we did it. Huge shout out especially to the guys who run it, Gustav and Sergey. Always mess his name up. Huge thanks to all of them. Huge thanks to you guys who attended. I didn't realize this on the first day because I've done this. I'm not crying, I've done this 4 years in a row, and it seemed like, and it is the 4th event, and it's the 4th year. What I didn't realize is like this event is actually just like the 2007 event, the first year when I was 18. You guys, just like those guys in 07, I'll never forget because it was the first one we did in Europe, and it was a really, really big step. I didn't see that again because it was the 4th year in a row, but it's like a whole new event. And I really thank you guys for coming. I can't tell you how much enough. I appreciate it to the bottom of my heart. So thank you for coming. You guys are badasses. Last thing I'll say is that if you want to donate to help cover the costs, because we kind of fell behind in money, you can do that to Felicia in the back. Anything you guys want to donate, nothing's too big or too small. The redhead, she's pretty cute. Met her on the way to Gothenburg, actually. Who thought she'd come to this event? But if any of you guys want to donate, you can do it, and give it to her. And we're actually going to use it to pay off the film guy, which is basically who we owe at this point. Because they actually came out here and did it for, in the meantime, free. Anyway, enough selling you guys shit. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you next year in Amsterdam or London. Cheers, mate.